What it do, Sensei crew? It's Anime Sensei here, and we're back in this joint. We're going to be doing What If Naruto Was Raised on Mount Myoboku Part 4. Let's get straight into this. Also, road to 200 subs. It's going to be a quick, short video, but I'm going to put a lot of quality. Be on the lookout for about 3 other videos, if not 3 too. Anyway, let's get straight to this. As this takes place about a few hours or so, as Team 7 had to wait about a few hours or so until they could go to the examination room to take the tuning exams, part 1. As Sakura, for the most part, wasn't too nervous, as she actually knew this part of the exam was going to be mostly based on intelligence. And since she had thought she was pretty smart, she thought she'd be able to ace this. While both Naruto and Sasuke were confident either way, test or not, though Naruto was a little drowsy on the fact that he had to take a test. Granted, he did realize that this would all be worth it at the end when he became a Chunin. As in this point, Naruto and Sasuke's rivalry had actually grown even bigger. Granted, their friendship did as well, but just an honorable mention. As Team 7 makes it to the examination room, they can see that they're all pretty much scattered out, with Naruto being on the top right, Sakura on the bottom left, and Sasuke in the top left, as they were all scattered out in different places. Naruto, for the most part, decided he wasn't going to do the test, as he could see there was some type of meaning, and that the test seemed kind of impossible, while Sasuke decided to cheat using his Sharingan, copying off of nearby people. And Sakura, well, she just kind of knew the answers, so she didn't really need any of that. As you gotta remember, Naruto was raised on Mount Myoboku. You don't really get too much smarts there. Sure, you get smart, but not too smart. As Naruto's thinking to himself on the possibilities if he's wrong and you actually do have to take the test, then boom, he would fail. Naruto decides to have trust in himself, deciding that he could be right. As about 40 minutes or so later, the proctor, Ibiki, finally puts his folder down. Test over. As you know, all of you are gonna pass. What? That's not fair, Kiba shouts out enraged. Well, get ready, brat. Life isn't fair. You little... As Kiba was getting ready to get out of his seat. Nah, dog breath's right. We tried our best. And here's one thing with me. You can say whatever you want, but I'm not gonna do it. I refuse. I don't care if I stay Genin for the rest of my life, Naruto says, pointing at Ibiki with a smirk on his face, as he actually did have a feeling he was right on his theory. I guess the boy has caught on, Ibiki says, while mentioning all this in his head. Well, the blonde boy is correct. This was all a test. You didn't actually have to do the test. The point of this test was you have to learn to cheat. Sure, you had to cheat, but you didn't have to either. You didn't even have to do it. I'm glad at least some of you could grab the meaning of this. The point of this was to cheat and not get caught. So in a way, the boy was wrong, while he was right. Anyway, you're next, as before he could finish up his sentence, suddenly the window had bursted open. The wonderful and beautiful Anko Mitarashi has arrived, as Anko had broken through the window. As everyone had looked at Anko in surprise, as a few Genin had actually passing out, as they were pretty much shocked at how fast Anko came. As Naruto had actually recognized Anko before, as she had actually came by the ramen stand and actually paid for his ramen before. As he could see that she was obviously kind of crazy, but kind of nice at the same time. As they both did kind of bond at one point in time over animals. Naruto likes frogs and she likes snakes. As Naruto walks up to her, "Hey, Anko-san," as he walks up to her. Oh, it isn't the little Genkai, as that was actually a nickname Anko had given to Naruto. It's good to see you. Oh, how old were you the last time? I was 11. I just turned 12. They grow up so fast, Anko says, while dramatically putting her hand on her forehead. Anyway, Brett, your next test will be in an hour. Screw that. We're not doing that. Let's go now. As his aunt Anko jumps out the window again, as Naruto looks out and realizes that she's gone. She must have did the body flicker, he thinks to himself. As both Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura all got outside along with the rest of the remainers. As actually a few people had actually quit, though there was still a lot of people. As on their way out, Sakura and Sasuke had questioned Naruto how he knew Anko. As Naruto had actually explained that Anko had paid for his ramen once, and how they both bonded at one point with animals, since they both had a love for animals. As Sakura found this cute and Sasuke just scoffed and continued going on. As they all make it outside, Anko proceeds to give everyone their scrolls, as Team 7 had managed to get a heaven scroll. Listen, brats, here's the deal. You get a heaven scroll and an earth scroll. Some of you will have a heaven, some of you will have an earth. You have to find the opposing scroll to pass. And you have 5 days, so if you're not back within these 5 days, you lose. Anyway, you can go in 3, 2, 1, go! As Naruto snatches the scroll from Sakura, as he suddenly says, go! As Team 7 leaps through the trees as fast as they could. About 30 minutes or so, they had finally stopped. Alright, team, here's the plan. Sasuke, keep your shotting gun activated. We'll have you in the front, since you'll be able to see the farthest. I'll be in the middle, and Sakura, you'll be in the back. Since I have the scroll, you guys will have to keep cover for me. Sasuke, you'll be able to see up front and whatever threat's going to be coming. And Sakura, I'm going to need you. Do your best. When we rest at night, we'll figure it out then. As Team 7 actually encountered a few teams, as they had actually managed to escape in the end. One of them had left behind an earth scroll, but they had actually burnt it, so it was actually not all that useful. As about 15 minutes or so later, Naruto decides that Team 7 should take a rest from here. So what's the plan, dope? Alright, then. Good thing you asked, Sasuke. Sakura, you're gonna set some traps around the site. Just be careful not to walk on them after. Sasuke, we'll take turns. Since Sakura is gonna be doing the traps, we might as well help out as well. So one of us will keep watch while the rest sleep. So for the first 5 hours, the first 2 hours, it'll be me. The other 2, Sasuke, and the last will be Sakura. Fair enough? Fine. But first, we should definitely find some food. How about we scatter? As Team 7 all scatters out. As Sasuke had went east, Sakura had went west, and Naruto went north. As Naruto was jumping from tree to tree, he had seen a red-haired girl. As he could see her, she seemed to have red hair as she was getting attacked by a bear. As she was screaming in pain as the bear had actually managed to bite her on her arm. As Naruto decided he needed to stop this before he got out of hand. As he had jumped towards the bear, drop kicking it in the face as it went flying back. Pretty much knocked out, as the girl, whose glasses were pretty much off so she couldn't see who it was. Naruto picks up her glasses, dusting them off her as he hands them back to her. As she looks up to him with a blush, pretty much surprised someone would save her. Who are you? She mutters out. I'm Naruto Uzumaki. Yeah, it was nice to meet you, though, as Naruto disappears. As this girl was kidding Uzumaki. As Naruto's on his way back to the campsite, he thinks to himself on this girl, actually remembering some books, as she had red hair, a distinct feature of the clan known as the Uzumaki clan. As Naruto could see, she was from the clan he was from. Granted, he didn't have the signature red hair. He definitely was an Uzumaki, though. He could tell. As Naruto had eventually went back to the campsite, still thinking about it, as he had told Sasuke and Sakura about it, with both of them a little intrigued, mostly on the fact that Naruto could actually have family he doesn't know about. As Naruto does explain to them that they probably aren't related, though could be distant cousins for all he knows. As about a few hours later, as it's Sakura's turn to guard, as she was honestly starting to drift off to sleep, as she was pretty much trying her best to stay awake. As Sasuke and Naruto were pretty much asleep at the moment, as suddenly Sakura looked to the left to see a bush. As the bush was starting to move, suddenly a figure emerged from the bushes. As he seemed to look demonic, while snake-like at the same time. As he went charging towards her, pushing her out the way. As he had seemed to grab Sasuke. As Naruto had woken up, alarmed by this. As he was getting ready to go charge this person, suddenly a snake came out of nowhere, devouring him. As Sakura watched in terror, she decided that she'd have to think fast. As she threw 6 kunai to the figure, as the figure managed to dodge all 6 swiftly. As Sakura had watched on, she realized this was no normal genin. As Sasuke had finally woken up, jumping out of the figure's hands as he had did a fire-style fireball jutsu mid-air. As the figure was able to counter quickly, doing an earth-style mud wall to counter this. As Sasuke was surprised on how fast this figure was able to move. As before he could even blink, the figure was behind him, as he had karate chopped him in the neck, sending him flying back. As Sasuke lands into the tree, he coughs up a little bit of blood, as he realizes this isn't going to be a big fight, an easy fight. As he shouts out, "Fire style! Phoenix Flower Jutsu!" As the Phoenix Flowers go flying towards the figure who is Orochimaru. As Orochimaru was able to dodge swiftly, as he had actually managed to catch one of the fireballs in his hands while throwing it right back to Sasuke. As this had completely caught Sasuke off guard, as the fireball landed in his chest, pretty much giving him a big burn, as he had actually got sent back, seemingly knocked out. As Orochimaru had decided this was the great moment, as he had extended his neck, as he had bit Sasuke on the arm, as he had disappeared. As Sakura, who had already passed out due to fear, was just laying there, as Naruto had actually managed to get his way out of the snake. As he looks down to both his fallen teammates, at first he had assumed they were dead, but realized they're both passed out. As he sighs in relief, he looks to his left to see that Team Ino Shikacho had actually been observing the whole thing. As Naruto calls them out, they all come out. What a drag. We were gonna help, but it seems like it was too late. Are they alright? Ino says, with a little bit of worry at both Sasuke and Sakura, as she didn't care all that much about Naruto. Not to say she didn't care, but she just didn't know the guy all that much. As Naruto could sense this, he goes on to tell them, "Alright, here's the plan. What scroll do you guys have?" "We have a heaven scroll," Shikamaru says, taking it out of his pouch. "Alright then, we're even. We both have the same scroll. So why don't we work together to find another scroll? Find 2 earth scrolls, alright?" "Fine, sounds like a plan." As Naruto and Shikamaru both fist bump, with Choji joining in. As they were all walking down, they actually met Kabuto again, with their interaction with him going by just about the same as it did in canon, as both teams had managed to find a heaven scroll. An earth scroll, as the whole way there, Sakura was contemplating on whether or not she should tell Naruto on what happened with Sasuke, as eventually she ended up telling him, as Naruto decided he would most likely have to inform Kakashi, since he might be able to help with this. As when they reach the place, Kakashi and Iruka all walk up to them, as Iruka congratulates them, but notices that Sasuke is passed out. As Kakashi can see what's going on, as Naruto is glaciering to him, explaining it through slang language. As Kakashi takes Sasuke off, saying that he has to go seal him off. As everything goes about the same up until the preliminaries, as we go to the preliminary match. As the first fight would be Sasuke versus some random ninja. As the fight begins off with Sasuke charging at the rogue, not the rogue ninja, but the random ninja. As the ninja had went in for a punch, with Sasuke dodging it and grabbing his arm. As he had body slammed him on the ground, everyone in the stands could see that Sasuke was using more brutal attempts to defeat his opponent. As Sasuke had jumped into the air while trying to use ninjutsu, realizing that it was triggering the seal. As instead of doing that, he had pulled off something similar to Rock Lee's Leaf Hurricane, though kind of different, as he had named it Lion Barrage. With Naruto intrigued with this move, realizing that he could potentially make something of his own with this. As the next match would be Kiba versus Naruto. It's time for you to go down. Just because you were taught by the great Jiraiya doesn't mean you're any good. If anything, he's probably the weakest Sani. You know, Kiba, you can talk a lot, but can you really back it up? Just saying, because, if I beat you up, I'd be wrong. You're not going to do... As before Kiba could even continue that, Naruto punched him in the gut. Oops. I guess I hit you. My bad. As Naruto walks back up to the stands, as the medics had came up to go get Kiba. As most of the matches go the same as they did in canon, with Sakura versus, being a little different, as Sakura had actually did a lot better when it came to the taijutsu, but still ended up with it being a tie. As we go to the Lord Third Hokage, as he's announcing what's going to happen. Alright then, Genin, you're going to have a 1-month training period to be able to train and do anything, okay? We're giving you this so you can do the last part of the tuning exams. This will determine if you can pass and become a tuning. Granted, we still do picks, people who did very well and might get tuning rank. Anyway, that's it for me. As Hiruzen walks away. As all the Genin leave, as Naruto was going to ask Kakashi for training, but he had seen that he was leaving out with Sasuke. Hey, Kakashi-sensei, do you think you could train me? Ooh, sorry, Naruto. You see, I gotta train Sasuke. Well, okay. Alright, fine. You want to train Sasuke? Alright. It's not that, Naruto. Just he asked for it. I don't want to hear it. Nah, you could train him. Go ahead. As Naruto walks off, acting as if he wasn't unfazed, slightly hurt, but realizing that Sasuke did ask first, so it was only fair that Kakashi had trained him. As Naruto did remember, he could summon the Toads and train with them, or Jiraiya if anything, because from what he heard, Jiraiya was supposed to be in the village. As this is where I'm going to be leaving it off. I hope you guys enjoyed. Anime Sensei out.